There are 6 total stages to a transformative process. We could call it healing, but I don't like the word healing because it could inadvertently keep you stuck in striving and never arriving, or making your life about perpetual healing as opposed to eventually putting it all down and not be defined by your old trauma and your old pain. My name is Anya, and I teach people about spirituality and consciousness. I wrote a book on the subject about how our consciousness shapes our reality. The very first stage is a kind of initial unconsciousness. When you really don't realize anything really is wrong, things are not working, maybe you're in pain, but you're numbing it. You might have energy left to continue trying and trying again. The second stage would be the awareness of the pain. Maybe you've tried several relationships and they all did the same thing. Maybe you're tired of your triggers. Maybe you're tired of your relationships being destroyed by, your anger or your defensiveness. Perhaps you've ended up on the victim side of a certain dynamic and you're suffering more than they are. But in this second stage, you become aware that something is wrong and something needs to change. The third stage I call conditional consciousness, and this is where a lot of self-help gets stuck, a lot of psychology gets stuck here. When you become aware that your pain and your trauma is not always with you, maybe, but it was caused by a parent or a family of origin or something else that happened to you. It's a finger-pointing stage. It's a stage where you see that they are the problem, and also they hold the keys to your healing. The fourth stage is probably the most powerful of all stages and the most important. That is the stage of ownership. It's not that you take responsibility for something you didn't do, or you take ownership of the actions that you did not perform, the actions that have hurt you. You take ownership of your reality. You say, this is my world. If I'm going to make it better, I have to do something about it. And you also take ownership of the imprint or the unconsciousness that you have embraced as a part of the fabric of your psyche as a result of that trauma. In my book, I often say, who did you assume you are because they have hurt you? You're basically saying, this is my reality, this is my repeating pattern, and if anything is going to change, it's not going to be them. I have to change. This stage is a stage of letting go. It's finding where there is a gap or a space between who you really are and the costume that you've put on as a result of being treated in one way or another, or as a result of growing up around unconscious and scared people. Realize that there's a difference between who you really are and the thoughts that you have embraced about who you are that are now shaping your patterns and playing into all of those unhelpful things that you keep, bringing in or attracting into your life. The stage of the game is a little bit scary because you're not just shedding dead weight of these limiting beliefs and ideas. You're actually letting go of a protective shield. It's as if you were given a role in the game, but the stakes were really high. Like if you don't win this game, you're not going to survive. Or if you don't play by our rules, you're not going to survive. You're not going to get love. You're not going to be accepted. You're not going to be real in the world. And you've forgotten that you were wearing that game costume. And you decided that that is who you are. Taking that costume off is going to be scary. And the sixth and final stage is living beyond your conditioning, moving beyond the healing transformative process, starting to live your life creatively, creating from the source of who you are, that isn't conditioned by your fear, that isn't conditioned by your separation, basically playing and having fun in the world. I hope that was helpful.